welcoming everybody to another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. And yesterday was a very terrible day for myself. The only good thing I did was go 2-0 in college basketball. So that was nice, but I lost the under in the NFL game, 53, and NBA. I went 1-5. So really disastrous day for me yesterday. Have to try to do better here today. And we have Mr. Rob Veno to help us out. So Rob, it's been a little bit. How you been? How's everything going for you?
We're good, Skee. It's been a pretty good start to the month. Last night, I was, on the other end of that football game had over. Detroit and Green Bay made it fairly easily by the end of the third, so that worked. I didn't have anything in basketball. I
What
was
number
talking
did
to
you
you
get?
all. I got 51 and a half.
Okay.
So it got there third quarter, I guess maybe late third quarter. But I was saying to you off air that, here in the, I guess they call this mid-Atlantic, where I am, Philadelphia. I still call it East Coast. Bad weather, snow, and a bunch of wind yesterday. So it knocked me off of any internet for quite a while yesterday. So at college and pro plays, I wasn't able to get to any clients. So we stuck with the one. NFL got there. We'll look to get to the NBA here tonight because I think there's a couple of things worth playing here in this game and this day.
All right, we'll talk about them. Shout out to the chat. See a lot of familiar names out there. Appreciate y'all tapping in. And yeah, you know what? Speaking of it, my internet was choppy yesterday too. For some reason, I was blurry. The audio was choppy, but it's back to normal today. Good internet. All right, let's get to it. We have first up Magic and Sixers. Opened up Magic minus 2.5. They're now 3.5 point favorite. And total went from 210 to 207. Caro, Gary Harris still out. For the Sixers, no Embiid, no Adam Bona, and then looks like Drummond is game time decision tonight too. The Magic, they've been playing good basketball. I mean, it's been a little bit now since they figured out how to play without Paolo, and I would trust them more than I trust Philadelphia. So I can understand why the line is moving that way, a little bit. Do you feel the same way? You're over there towards that Philly area. How are you feeling about this one, Vino?
Well, this game got me the other night because I played the Orlando team total over 106.5, and I got lucky enough, Skee, to where it worked out where Jalen Suggs got fouled with like 1 second left in the game, +4 at the time, and more importantly, they were on 105. He makes the first to get to 106, and then he misses the second to lose by half a point. It's left me hanging, Jalen Suggs. So his poster isn't up on my wall today, but it looked to me like, the Magic in that game got out quick and just kind of cakewalked through. I mean, Philly was so depleted, right? Defensively, they went after Maxey. In fact, I'll tell you what, I have a quick quote here from Tyrese Maxey. May give you some insight into how Orlando in back-to-back games against the Sixers will play him. But Tyrese Maxey said they trapped every ball screen. That's hard, but that's why Jared McCain got downhill. They played drop on him. He got downhill, scored 24 points, and made some threes. I thought we did a good job, man. I got in the paint. I got guys open shots. We made some. We missed some. I'm overall happy with the way we played offense. Tonight they get Paul George back. Tonight they get Andre Drummond back. The boards were a little bit of a problem the other night. I think Franz Wagner went crazy in that game, had like 35. So if Philly, from an offensive standpoint, should be a little bit better, which kind of confused me with this total, Skee. They bet it down from 207, from 210 to 207, 206.5. Not necessarily sure I agree with that because, like I say, it didn't look like Orlando put forth an entire 48 minutes worth of offensive effort. They played when they needed to. If they do play all 48 tonight and the Sixers with a little extra help on offense and on the glass, I would think this game gets over 207. I didn't bet it because I'm still looking into it, but to me, that downward move was a little confusing because you know what? The other night, I think this total closed at like 208 without George and without Drummond. So it's kind of head scratching. I don't know why the move toward the under in this game.
Yeah, it is interesting. I don't think I have an answer for it either, but we'll see. Carry on in the chat. He likes the under in this game, 210.5. Let's keep going to the next one. It's a good game. Bucks and Celtics opened up Celtics -6.5. They're now 8.5 point favorites. Total open 231 and is down to 227.5. As far as the injuries, Porzingis is out for Milwaukee. Giannis is game time. My bad. Let me make sure. Is it probable or is it questionable? So Giannis and Chris Middleton are listed as probable. Marjan is questionable, and Taurean Prince is questionable as well. Um, I feel like first thought for me, Rob, is Celtics have been winning. I feel like they've been winning by more than 8 a lot lately. So I know the Bucks have been playing better too, but they pretty much have everybody available there for Boston. It might take a little time to integrate Middleton for Milwaukee. I lean a little bit more towards the Bucks, and I'm not mad if you want to try to talk me into maybe some points in this game.
I think I would try to talk into some points in this game. Boston, the other night, there were a couple of post-game complaints about their three-point defense. I think Detroit hit 23s against them the other night. But Boston, there was no Tatum. There was no Drew Holiday. And when Drew Holiday's not present, the perimeter is going to be weaker, obviously. So no Porzingis tonight, but insert Tatum and Holiday. And, of course, for Milwaukee, like you say, it's going to be the first game with Chris Middleton. We'll see how many minutes he gets exactly. Giannis, it's so hard, Skee, because what we've seen from Milwaukee with Doc Rivers as head coach wouldn't make you rush to play his side in a game of this magnitude on the road. But Giannis said that the team was pretty disappointed. They had a 7-game win streak, get beat by the Hawks. Locker room, he said, was quiet the way it should be after a loss, and was talking about how they're going to regroup and come out here. I know it's a meaningful game for the Bucks. Not that it's not for the Celtics, but for the Bucks to climb back into this, Eastern Conference talk, it's a meaningful game for them. I'd expect full effort. The question is full effort good enough? And I'm not sure, so I don't want to play side, but I do believe there'll be some pace to this game. I know how efficient Boston is at scoring the basketball, especially with their three-point offense. So I would probably look towards over. It's kind of ticked back up within the last 30 minutes before we came on here. It had been as low as 226. I think it's now climbed back up to 227 as the injury status becomes a little more clear that guys are going to play in this game. So I think it's probably going to go up even higher, maybe another half, maybe another full point. So I would try over 227. It's on, as you would call, a short list. It's on a short list for me. I may get there with that eventually.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. And I was wanting to maybe think about Tatum props, maybe even rebounds, but I was hoping that Horford would be out instead of Porzingis. So the Celtics do play again tomorrow. Something to also consider in this game, but I'll keep it moving down the list. The Lakers and the Hawks. Hawks opened up -2.5, and this tells you all you need to know about the Lakers. They're now -6 or -5.5. Total open 232.5, and it looks like 232. Injury report. Trae Young looks like he's probable. So is Lundy, and then Zeller is out. For the Lakers, you have AD probable, LeBron questionable, Hayes, Hood, Reeves, Vanderbilt, Wood all out for the Lakers. The Lakers have been pathetic, Rob. I should have just been betting against them because I've been saying how disgraceful they've been for the past I don't know how many games, ever since that Nuggets game, really, honestly. So it doesn't look like they try out there on the court. JJ Redick said he's gonna have his meeting or whatever. We'll see what that does, but I don't see a group of guys that are inspired to do anything out there on the court. Can you get there with the Hawks at home tonight?
Yeah, a couple things here, Skee, and they both would point Atlanta's direction in this game. First off, to your last point about JJ Redick and his meeting. I mean, we may not see that LeBron JJ Redick podcast much longer because he's calling for somebody, a player, to stand up and take accountability. He claims there's no ownership amongst the players. He said, obviously, I have something to do with it. I own what's going on here, but I need some of the players to step up and take ownership. That includes his good buddy LeBron. Somebody say, somebody show him something. And I don't know if that message is going to fall on deaf ears. Like you said, we'll see what this meeting provides, but I wouldn't expect instant turnarounds. Where we see instant turnaround, I can't believe I'm even saying this, though, Skee, is in Atlanta's defense.
Yeah,
Atlanta
they've been
defensively. Oh, man, the last 4 games, I'll just read you real quick. They allowed 41% from the field, 37%, 44%, 42%. Those games, by the way, it were against Cleveland. Charlotte and New Orleans will let go. They're banged up. But then Milwaukee the other night, and they held Cleveland and Milwaukee to 41 and 42% shooting. That's really good, and good enough for Quinn Snyder to say, the win streak has come on the defensive end. I think as much as anything, when we're defending, that's the ticket, whether it's the first, the third, whatever quarter, when we commit to guarding, that allows us to get out in transition. Trae Young's not playing well offensively. Doesn't matter. Jalen Johnson has taken over. DeAndre Hunter, we know, is a good defensive player. I've done shows with you long enough to know that you're a guy who likes to play last 5 games. And if we're separating this to last 5, there's just no contest here. It's the Hawks or nothing in this game. So I'm a little disappointed that the line shot up so quickly from 2.5 to 5.5 or so much. But I don't see a path to play in LA, and I see a couple of paths to playing the Hawks in this game.
Yeah, last 5 game stats, top 10 in both offense and defensive rating. Actually, number 3 defensive rated team for the Hawks. Lakers, bottom 10 in both categories, and the 3rd worst offensive rated team. So 3rd worst offense versus 3rd best defense last 5 games. You wouldn't have thought that if you're looking at the Hawks maybe before the season or just a couple weeks ago. So no way. Absolutely no way. I don't care how many meetings they have. They're going to have to show me something. Show me a heartbeat out there on the court. Let's keep going down the list. Kings and Spurs. This one opened up Kings -3 and shot up to 5.5. Total open 227. Looks like 228. Carter and Lyles are out for Sacramento. For San Antonio, looks like Wemby is questionable. Trey Jones is out. Wemby did miss last game. I thought he was just, I don't know. I didn't know how injured he was. But the Kings are pretty healthy. And they're a team that needs to be healthy, Rob, because they're top heavy. So seeing that and not knowing the status of Wemby, I mean, with the line move, I would think they're assuming Wemby's not going to be out there. If that's the case, I think the Kings can win. Do I want to bet them at -5.5? I'm not sure. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think I've read, Skee, that they expect Wembanyama definitely on Sunday. Really unclear as to tonight. And I would expect probably Sunday in his case. This is the second of back-to-backs here for each team. Actually, it's hard to get to Sacramento as well because Mike Brown's talking about still juggling lineups and rotations, saying he hasn't figured out a rotation yet. Had another talk with Malik Monk. Nothing against Malik Monk, just whether he's more comfortable playing in the starting lineup or as the 6th man. According to Mike Brown, he needs to do what's best for the team and keeping Malik Monk in mind to let him be at his best by having his preference. So right now, it is amazing to me that Sacramento is playing so bad. I think they've lost 7 of 9. So the thought of laying points with them isn't really attractive. But San Antonio last night, wow, 73 points in the first half they gave up to the Bulls, and they gave up 68 in the paint. Their interim head coach was talking about how lethargic and lazy they played in that game, at least for the first half. I'd expect San Antonio at home to come out with a little more fire tonight. They've got Jeremy Sohan back now. It should be helpful. But I don't know. I would almost tend to want to take points in this game with the Spurs, even if Wemby doesn't play, just because it's hard to get to Sacramento at this point, the way they're playing and lay 6 or 5.5 at the same time. It might be better to play total, but I don't know. I'm staring at these numbers now. I don't like that either. So for me, this is probably just a scratch. Put the red pencil through it, the X, let it go, see what happens. And maybe bounce back with one of these two next game. But until Sacramento rights the ship, I don't think I want to be laying 5.5 or 6 on the road with them.
We're in agreement. There's something that I can look at here, and I'm just looking for a number. Like I said to you off air yesterday, the games did me so dirty. I didn't even want to look at these games today. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm seeing a lot of this stuff for the first time and just going through it with you. So I'm looking for a prop here. I'm looking for Malik Monk, and I see 16 and a half points. Maybe, I would line shop because I'm only checking one place, but I'm pretty sure he's been scoring that. I'm looking at his last, the first game when he came back, he had 14. He only got 26 minutes. Since then, he's played 31 minutes plus, and he's had 23, 17, 19, 29, 27. He's starting right now. Versus Spurs defense. I think Malik Monk points is a look in this game. Any reason to talk me off of that, Ravino?
I really couldn't because, like I say, it's nothing. And I think Mike Brown said it in that quote that I read. It's nothing against the way he's playing. He's playing really well offensively. It's just a matter of where he's more comfortable. Right now, he's going to be a starter. But he's juggling these rotations, and we haven't found the right combination yet. We'll see when they do. But I couldn't argue off of Monk. He's been scoring and at a pretty good clip too.
And my guy Carrion, who always drops the player props in the chat, he says Malik Monk points and assists. He says don't forget the assist. And I open up my app, I look at his points. I didn't scroll over a couple sections and look at the assists. He's been dealing too. 9, 9, 6, 12, 5. Points assist definitely sounds like the look. So let me go ahead and adjust that points to points plus assists. PA at 21 and a half. I appreciate you, Carrion, for sharing that. All right, we'll keep going down here. Next game up, we have Pacers and Bulls. And Pacers open -3. They're sitting at 3.5 now. Total went from 245 to 248.5. Pretty much as soon as that Bulls game ended last night. They just wanted to make sure nobody was hurt. And then they jacked it up. People were betting it immediately. Injury report, Nembhard is game time decision. Neesmith and Shepard are out. Lonzo is probable. Kobe White is game time, and Williams is out. So, in general, these are two teams who we think to play fast and play no defense. The Pacers' offense lately has been struggling, especially they struggle when they're on the road. That's one thing that gives me a little bit of a hiccup. But the pace, it should absolutely be there. So I'm curious, Rob. First thing I think about when I'm talking about this, and I see you on the other side, is potential points scored. What do you think about Pacers and Bulls?
Yeah, I got to tell you, I got no interest. My interest in the beginning was on Indiana team total. But I think I was on with you the other day when we were talking about Rick Carlisle saying how important Nembhard in the lineup is to Tyrese Halliburton's success and then the team's offensive success overall. If Nembhard were playing and he's, like you say, game time decision, I would probably get there with Pacers team total in this one. But it's too high. They scored 90 the other night against Brooklyn. Offense has been bad. You talked about it's been bad on the road. Chicago doesn't play a lick of defense, and they're in the second of back-to-backs, and they're going to run. But still, the numbers just kind of price me out here, Skee. You're talking about a game that has to get to 250. Not that that's impossible with these two, because it certainly is. But I prefer to have Indiana whole. It's one thing to not have Andrew Nembhard in the lineup, but they're missing a lot of guard scoring. Ben Shepard isn't playing. Neesmith isn't playing. A lot of shooting that's out of the lineup here. So I don't really want to take Chicago's team total, although you probably could look that direction. Again, this is one that I scratched off. I thought they just priced me out of it with how high the numbers are.
Fair enough. Honorable mention. We knew it since it was plus money. I don't know why I didn't just continue to bet it every game. But
Vooch.
Vooch threes. He hits it like damn near. He's been hitting it every game. I think 8 of the last 9 games, it was plus money, like plus 160 early in the season. Now you're getting like minus 130 to bet it, and he's still hitting it. So whether it's his points, his threes, I couldn't talk you off of Vooch anything. Um, and I agree with Rob as far as
You had to defend him that one time. Somebody told you Vooch is a bum. I can't bet him. You had to defend
oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah. They're
him.
not talking
Chat.
about it no more. Look, Carry On brings some stats too. Says 1.5 threes. He's shooting 46.8% from three. Yeah, it's crazy how good he's shooting it. But continues to cash that 1.5. They haven't raised it to 2.5 yet. Next game up, they have it's a good one. Warriors and Golden State. Opened up Golden State -2.5 is now. I mean, it's all over the place. I see a +1 for Golden State. I see a -1. I see it pick 'em. So we'll just say pick 'em, I guess, for this game. For the injuries, though, you have Dillingham out, Ingles out for Minnesota. For the Warriors, you have Steph probable, Draymond questionable, and Post out. Golden State did play last night. They beat the Rockets. Minnesota's coming in here with the rest advantage. Minnesota's been playing good, Rob, ever since Ant been maybe Ant is bringing it out of him, right? Challenging him. The quotes that you brought up that he said, I cashed a couple tickets because of it in their past couple games. They're playing really good defense. They look like they want to win. They get a unrested Golden State team tonight. Do you think the Wolves are the side here?
Yeah, like you say, Skee, it was a couple of nights ago against the Lakers when he put it to the team. We played good defense. Are we going to do that every play, every game? Lakers, they came out and did it. Of course, it's the Lakers, so we had to wait. A couple nights later, I played them against the Clippers. I probably should have played under as well, but I took Minnesota. And funny thing about that Minnesota Clippers game the other night, Skee, is that money bet that total up, which I'm thinking, why are you betting this game up? And it stayed way, way under. I think it was 108 to 80. In defense of the Clippers, they were without some important bodies. And in my estimation, whenever Norman Powell isn't in that Clippers lineup, it's just, either fade them or don't play the game at all, because Norman Powell means that much to them in my estimation. But Minnesota, I got right on the train again this morning, was the first thing I played. Actually got a better number than anything available right now, but I still think anything in that pick'em range is worth it. I think Minnesota will probably win straight up. The defensive end, again, we saw how good they can be when they're playing defense. Last year, I think a majority of NBA bettors and guys who follow the league thought that Minnesota was going to ride that defense to the finals against Boston, and Dallas got in the way in the championship, but they only allowed 35% shooting the other night, 41 against the Lakers, 43 the game before against the Clippers. They've been solid the entire time. I like them tonight. You mentioned the rest advantage, just another reason to play them. So I'm on Minnesota. Again, it's kind of a current form type of thing that fits into the last five category. Why get off this train now the way they're playing right now?
What about the under as well? I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be their identity again, right? They're getting back to playing that really good defense. Warriors, I mean, they do get Steph in, so maybe wait until he's actually rolled in. I mean, he's probable. So when he's actually rolled in, maybe it goes up a little more. I know it was 217.5 earlier, and then since shoot around, this went up to 219. So um, would you agree that if you like the under, you should wait for him to come to get rolled in? Pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta pause that because I know the chat's gonna go crazy. That was wild. But do you agree with that? And also, I'll just bottom 10 pace, top 10 defense, bottom 10 offense, last 5 games for both teams.
Yeah. If you like under, you're absolutely right, because we see how, especially NBA on a daily basis, how they chase numbers due to injuries. So we're staring at 218.5. Now you could very well see it's a late game too. You could very well see 220.5 once Steph is ruled in, and get a way better number at that point in time. So if you like under, which I don't know why you wouldn't, the Warriors last night played terrific defense, right? Held the Rockets, even without Draymond and Steph, played great defense last night. Probably going to need to here again tonight. Yeah, if you like under, I would totally wait.
I like it. I do like it. So I'll keep that one on my short list right there and wait it out. We can make it to the last game on the slate here. Utah and Portland. Opened up Blazers -4. Is down to -2. And the total hasn't moved too much. Looks like 226 right now. Clarkson out, Lipowski out. And then for the Blazers, Scoot is game time. No Klingon, no Robert Williams, no Matisse Tybul. Um, I feel like I feel like Jeremy Grant has played really well at home, and I feel like he usually plays well against Utah. So I might lean towards his points in this game. Other than that, not a game I'm too interested in. Do you have any interest, Vino?
I do. I do. It started with Utah team total. Then I looked at the other side and said, wait, maybe I want full game total. It just comes in, I play a lot of bounce back. And not that you should be playing bounce back offense with Portland, but I will say this. Both of these teams played really, really good defensive teams the other night. Utah played Oklahoma City in a game they needed for the Cup to win that group. Oklahoma City dominated. Utah only scored 106, but that's still a pretty good number against OKC. And in that game, Skee, they shot 54% against OKC. But how about this? They got up 32 less shots. Oklahoma City shot the ball 102 times. The other side only shot it 70. Still hit 54%. They committed 29 turnovers. Utah did. That's understandable against OKC. For Portland, they played the Clippers, who have been playing really, really good defense. Got held to 105. Against both of these defenses, you would figure 106 and 105 are going to go up here. Utah's team total was 111, maybe 111 and a half right now. Wouldn't argue you off of that. I do think full game total, which has crept up again. And I see right now on the screen, it's gone red to 226 and a half. I agree with it. I think that we'll get offense here out of both of these teams. There's not a lot of defense going on. You and I have talked a couple of times about, the rim protectors, 2 out of 3 being out of the Portland lineup, Ayton out there to defend it himself. Walker Kessler is a pretty good match for him. So to me, the 2 best bets here were Utah's team total over and the full game over. I wouldn't argue off of either one of those.
All right, good stuff. We still got about got to be off in 10 minutes, so we still got a little bit of time. I'll see if we can. How you feel about talking a little bit of college football?
Yeah, let's do it. It's a big weekend. Let's do it.
See if we can hit. We'll see if we can hit both of these. First, we'll go Tulane and Army, and this one didn't move too much. They opened -4. They're now 4.5, and the total is the big mover, I guess. Open 48.5, down 3 points to 45.5. Army is a team that likes to run, right? If I'm not mistaken. So that could have something to do with the total dropping. How are you thinking about this game?
I think I like it. Well, first of all, this is one of these conference championship games that's played on a home field. Army is at home. West Point, New York. I had mentioned to you off air, the weather here has just been freezing cold and windy. I don't think the winds are going to affect that game too much here tonight. But the cold could affect a team like Tulane for sure, coming up here and playing in 22-degree weather or thereabouts. Couple of things here. I've read and heard a lot this week about Army really more worried about playing Navy next week. It's interesting how Army and Navy schedule, right? The entire season ends, and then they play a solo game by themselves. But certainly Army, it's their first year in the conference, and in their first year, they make the championship game, and they get it at home. To me, it's full motivation, full focus for Army. The other side has some distractions. The other side had a chance to be in that 12-team college football playoff. A little bit outside chance, but they had a chance at home last week. They're a 14-point favorite on Thanksgiving night. They get whacked by Memphis, and now they're out of that talk. So I don't know if there's slight letdown in Tulane or not. Their head coach is rumored as a candidate to go to North Carolina. You don't know if his head is fully in it. It's only his first year, so it's not like he's, committed to this school. So there's a couple of things. It's not the full handicap, but it's a couple of things to keep in mind. I'd say the level of concern from 1 to 10 is probably about a 1.5 or 2. Last week, like I say, Tulane loses. They're really a methodical team like Army. They take a lot of time between snaps. So that's a reason why you're looking at the total going down. But I think in a game like this, where Army, which owns the #1 run defense in the conference, Army, which owns the best running offense in the conference, I think you have to take home points here. Last week, they won time of possession against Texas San Antonio by 21 minutes. Only reason I'm going to bring up Texas San Antonio and North Texas is because those are the two best offenses in the league. They're better than Tulane's offense statistically. And they're teams that throw the football around. Generally speaking, people would think that, Army probably can't keep up with wide receiving corps, but they kept up with both of those. So I don't know where Tulane has this great advantage here tonight, Skee. I think if you're going to get 4.5, 5 points, you have to take the underdog here. In the conditions, the way the matchup sets up, I like Army.
Good stuff. The chat, they're all over the place. Some like Tulane, some like Army, some like over, some like under. Ravino's trying to help you out. He's looking at the Army side. And we'll try to quickly get to Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State. Not much movement here either. The side did go from -3 to -4 for Jacksonville State, but the total kind of just sitting still at 58.5. So we have Thomas in the chat liking the under. Are you looking at it from a total perspective, or do you agree with the line move towards Jacksonville State?
It's interesting because these two teams just played 6 days ago. They played the final game of the year. Jacksonville State could care less about that game. They already had first place and home field in this game clinched. But it was important for Western Kentucky to win and get here. They did win 19-17. They kicked like a 50-yard field goal with 3 seconds left to get here. The reason why the line has moved up is because Jacksonville State's #1 quarterback got hurt in that game and left the contest. And there's a lot of, you know what, Skee, they're not giving real good injury information on this one. There's a lot of chatter from Jacksonville State that maybe that was just done to preserve him for this game. Like they knew it didn't matter. He tweaked his ankle. Let's just rest him and let the backup go. I think if you're Jacksonville State, in particular, their head coach, Rich Rodriguez, who's been around a long time, I don't think he showed Western Kentucky half of the playbook offensively last week. Just keep it hidden. We're probably going to play them again. We'll unleash it at home next week. So I think their 17 points are going to go up in this game. They're probably going to score more. And Western Kentucky, for what it's worth, they gained 427 yards against this team. A whole batch through the year, 330, something like that. And for WKU, they had lousy field position all game long. I think they started 6 drives between their 12 and their 18. So they had to go the length of the field almost all day. I don't think that could happen again. You could have that bad of field position. So I think Western Kentucky's point total will go up as well. They both had a chance to see each other's defenses last week. To me, when this number was 57.5, it was a better bet because 31.27 would cash for you. Here it's up to 58, which kind of indicates to me that Tyler Huff, the starting quarterback for Jacksonville State, probably does play. And the last thing I'll say in favor of the over, Jacksonville State's the fastest tempo offense in FBS football. 134 teams, they're the fastest. Run a play every 19 seconds. Last week in this game, you got 26 possessions. 2 were kneel down, so let's take those out. 24 possessions is a lot of opportunity to score points. I think it probably gets over. It's a smaller play because the number went to 58, but I do think it'll get over the number.
All right, Veno thinks we'll get some points in this game. Points and tempo. Good stuff on that one from Veno. And we can move it on over to best bets. I'll ask you, Veno, is there anything that you would like to promote or anything you'd like to promote and maybe a best bet for the show? Or if you don't have one, that's okay too.
We'll go real quick to promotion. Wagertalk.com. If you're not a member already, just drop your email address in. You get all the written and video content produced over there each and every day for free. And because and again, I hate to get in this spot where I try to tout winnings and whatnot, but bowl season is usually very, very good to me. And Wager Talk's running a bowl special over there right now. So if you want to get involved with bowl selection packages, go over there. I think you can save like $100, $150 or something. I think it's $149 all the way through the championship game. So once again, bowl season package over there at wagertalk.com. For best bet, Skee, I'm going to go back to the Timberwolves. I don't see any reason to get off of this right now. They seem to be very, very motivated on the defensive end. Back-to-backs for Golden State could be a little tough. Steph will have fresh legs for sure. But I like the Minnesota side here. I like the way they're playing. So give me Minnesota. I don't know, +1 pick, -1, whatever we want to go with. If you want Minnesota, obviously you take the +1. I'll use that as a best bet.
All right, good stuff, Veno. I like that best bet right there. For myself, I mean, also wagertalk.com. The link to both of our pages are in the description to this video. And then I always forget, but since one of them is gonna be a best bet on this show, I know I haven't made it yet, but I'll make it shortly after this show. Let's put up Splash Sports, and you can put the best bet that I'm going to give you in a quick pick if you want. And the reason Splash Sports is good is because you're playing against other people. It's peer to peer, so you don't have to even get, if you have a 4 pick, you don't have to even get all 4 right. You can get 3 out of 4 right and still get paid, and they have the best DFS multipliers in the game. So 4 pick, I think you can get up to 12 times your money there. And my best bet, my splash pick of the day, will be Malik Monk over the 21.5 points plus assists. I just have to line shop to make sure that's the line that I can get currently. But Malik Monk points and assists, he's been killing that. So that'll be my play of the day, my best bet. Veno, I appreciate you taking the time to come cap these games with me. Um, I don't know when we'll talk again, but I'll get with you on that. And chat, appreciate you guys for tapping in. A lot of good people and good insight as well. And the show is nothing without you guys. So I'm gonna head on over. I'll go live with 5 star in a couple of minutes. And for those of you that want to hear some more about football, I'll catch you guys over there.